Yo, boys, what's going on? What's going on? So, lost a couple $100 this week. Not gonna lie, not because the business is failing, but because I'm making a change that is pretty much going to change most things in the operations. But first off, welcome back. You know, this is the weekly Amazon FBA Business Update series where I'm pretty much taking you along the path of all the wins, the failures, the lessons learned, everything from zero to $1 million a month revenue. I'm documenting everything, everything, no fluff at all, just like straight unfiltered. So, quick housekeeping for the start of this week. So, I'm changing the way that we're actually calculating the numbers that we're using in these presentations. And pretty much it's going to be everything from Sunday to the end of Saturday. It was a bit mixed up before where we were including, the following weeks, some of the shit that we were doing on that Sunday. I'm not doing that anymore. It's going to be a lot cleaner. It's going to make a lot more sense going forward. And yeah, we're in the process of doing that right now. Next week is going to be the first full video where that takes place. So it's going to be a lot better going forward. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. The P and L for this most recent week. So looking at it here, negative week, net loss of around $400. I'm going to be straight with you about why. So revenue was like $359. That's pretty low. Most of my listings thus far have been FBM, meaning fulfilled by merchant. I was handling all the fulfillment in-house. And to be completely honest, the complete system just broke, right? We had to cancel a bunch of orders in this most recent week. And those cancellations sent me as refunds, around $300 in refunds. And yeah, also the fees look pretty high relative to the revenue because they include the FBA shipments costs, which is money I'm paying right now to get inventory into Amazon's warehouse for the following weeks for inventory that we have not sold yet. So it's sort of like front loading the cost, if that makes sense. So that's not a sales cost. That's an investment into the following week's sales, pretty much. Also, we put around 16K into inventory this week. And that inventory is still in transit right now to the prep centers to actually get put on the shelves, to be sold in the Amazon warehouse. So yeah, so let's go and move on to the next slide here, talking a bit more about the inventory, the VA performance. So once again, inventory around 16K for the past week. That's how much we spent on new inventory. And that's in transit to the prep center. That's not live on Amazon just yet. We've been front running inventory for like a few weeks now. And a lot of it still hasn't hit it's at the prep center, but a lot of them still hasn't hit like Amazon's warehouses and actually been checked in and whatnot. But they're starting to at the moment, which is a good thing. And I mean, that's the nature of this model. Like you spend before you earn, and the coming weeks are going to reflect that. We're going to see a big uptick in the amount of revenue, which is good. Also brought on a full-time like sales manager, purchaser kind of role. Pretty much took my top performing VA and just bumped him up, and I've been able to be able to purchase actual leads now. So I set him up, give him his own like what is it called, virtual credit card, so that he can actually start making purchases following the SOP. So that's a good thing. And we're going to move him up over time, and he's going to make more and more purchasing decisions and ultimately fully take over that when it comes to actually purchasing the leads that we're sourcing, which is a good thing. Also, we're in the process of shifting to a slightly different compensation model where, as opposed to just paying per hour, it's going to be more so based off of the quality and the amount of leads that you're submitting. So you pretty much have unlimited earning potential if you submit a greater number of higher quality leads, then you're going to make more money. And it just makes sure that all the incentives align for everybody, right? And aside from that, on the sourcing side, we also sort of hit a snag where a lot of the VAs were sourcing the same leads. And that's in complete honesty, that's really like a mistake on my part, because starting them out, I gave them a lot of the same places or basis points to start from when it came to actually sourcing the leads, the same storefronts to start from. And because of that, as they branched out and did more lead sourcing and all that good stuff, they started to converge on the leads that they were finding. And that showed itself in the past week. The volume dropped, and but I've since changed that. They're all pretty much now going in separate directions, which is a good thing, and that should solve that in the coming week. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes, guys. And then we have some major updates. So we have three major updates. First one, we're pretty much done with FBM as a primary fulfillment method. The in-house setup was just creating too much headaches, too many problems, and I don't think it's going to be as profitable as FBA either, honestly. FBA removes a lot of those problems too. Amazon handles storage, packing, pretty much everything from A to Z, so I don't have to worry about it, which is a good thing. Aside from that, the Google Sheets that I was using to track profit, everything like how much money we're making, all the details, pretty much completely fucking broke, to be honest. So moved over to an actual software that's going to track most of those things. It's called Sellerboard, and that should help out a bit. And that's pretty much what we're going to be running going forward. And it's going to help out. It's going to help out. It definitely will. And yeah, operations side, as I said, we already have sort of like an operations side who's handling the inventory side of things, but we went ahead and took on this VA. He's pretty much like the sales manager. He's pretty much going to be managing the other VAs over time. That's the role that I'm going to move him into, honestly. So yeah, that's a couple major updates for the week. As far as lessons learned, so these issues were not random, right? They were the result of trying to handle too much in-house without the right infrastructure, right? You can't scale a broken system. So I was pretty much running FBM while simultaneously building FBA, and the in-house side collapsed under its own weight, pretty much, if that makes sense. So the fix really isn't to work harder on the broken thing. It really is just to cut it out and just go all in on the thing that's working most. And I mean, the transition is painful for a week or two, but the upside is a system with really no cap. There's no ceiling with it. Like, I can just continue to scale. I can scale. Like Amazon can handle a lot when it comes to how much work we're sending to them, which is a good thing. Also, we're going to be getting like a new credit line opened up with a credit card. It's like Capital One, some shit, Spark Cash, but it's like 2% cash back. And when you're spending like 15K a week minimum, and that's going to be increasing over time, cash back adds up, right? So that's 2% of that. What is that? What is that? What is that? That's like $300 if you're spending 15K per week, 2% of that. So it adds up. So I'm working on getting that credit line opened up, and a few others, like really key, like good credit lines that have some benefits, especially with my style of purchasing, which is a good thing. And that's one thing. Like debt is not bad. Debt is not bad. It's not bad at all. That's a poor person's mindset. It's an idiotic mindset, honestly. Like when you're poor, you see debt and you associate it with red, negative, bad, right? But it's not true whatsoever. Debt used correctly is a powerful tool. That's pretty much how you make money with other people's money. That's a beautiful thing. You don't have to spend your own money and you can still make money, because at the end of the day, it takes money to make money, right? So you just have to be smart about it. And if I tried to like just scale all on my own, like it will take a much longer period of time. You just have to be intelligent about it and know what you're purchasing. That's really all it comes down to. And also keep in mind the sales cycle. How long it's going to take for you to get that money back, which is a good thing. Aside from that, people also say that you should focus on one model. In this case, let's say FBM, to just hit $1 million a month, but that isn't true. Your main job as an entrepreneur is determining the highest ROI opportunity, for you, and just going all in on that, just all in, right? Because that's pretty much, if your goal is money, that's the smartest thing to do, right? Like waves come, opportunities come, waves come, things go up and down. There's different trends and things of that sort, and opportunities present themselves. Right now, FBA is the highest ROI move. So that's where everything goes. That's not a lack of focus. That's just how you actually win. Like Elon Musk is a trillionaire. He didn't build one business. He's built multiple different businesses. He's focused on different things over time. Obviously, I'm not Elon Musk, so I'm just saying, like, you have to just focus on the highest ROI move at the time and just go all in on that, right? And that's the model. That's what I'm doing right here. So game plan. So the goal right now is simple. Get inventory moving, get revenue up. Right now, like 16K in the past week and sitting in the FBA pipeline to be sold. The next 2 to 3 weeks are strictly about getting the inventory that we've been purchasing, because we purchased probably, I don't know, like 60K inventory that we haven't, $60,000 in inventory that we haven't like even began selling yet. So the next few weeks are just about getting that inventory live, getting it priced right, and getting it actively generating consistent weekly revenue. That's super important. And once that's flowing, the focus is going to shift to two primary things. The first one being maximizing the profit per unit. So every product going into FBA needs to hit the margin targets, right? We're tightening the criteria on what's getting purchased, better qualified leads from the actual VAs themselves, which means better profits for us on the back end once we actually sell it, right? And then in addition to that, with the ops hire in place, meaning like the sales manager that we sort of hired this week, the compensation restructure happening as well. The VA team should start generating a much higher amount of leads and also higher quality leads. And that's the engine. That's the entire engine of the business. So when the engine runs clean, we scale it. We turn it up a notch. You know what I mean? So the revenue should look different. It will look different next week for sure, and it's going to gradually grow over time as we get this inventory on shelves and actually selling, which is super important, super duper important. But yeah, that's been the video, guys. That's the week. Negative on paper, down some bread, but the foundation is getting stronger. Next week, you're going to see exactly what happens with the 15K in inventory starts moving through FBA and we actually start selling it. You're going to see these numbers pick up, which is a good thing, getting us well on our way to $1 million a month revenue. So if you're following the journey, make sure to subscribe. I also want to hear from you guys what kind of content you want to see me make, when it comes to documenting the journey. If there's anything you guys are interested in particular, just make sure to drop all of that in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe, of course, to follow along for the entire journey. I'm going to be dropping a video shortly going over the exact system I'm using to source products and also manage a remote VA team fully. And that's coming in a separate video soon. So make sure to stay tuned for that. You're going to have to subscribe. So definitely go to do that. And yeah, I'll go and see you guys in the next video. Peace.